So this is questions to the crew, and this is the sound department questions. So let's start with, we're a bit late to the party, but not long back from seeing the show this year. Is the lone piper amplified, or are his pipes really that loud? They're quite loud. If amplified, I presume the cabs are more or less next to him to make it sound directional, and curious what it is used, as it sounds pretty damn genuine.
It's a little bit of a design question, so I can't tell you exactly what it is. But the first point is that the pipes are indeed very, very, very loud.
Excruciatingly
and
loud.
The piper we played for the BBC is incredibly loud.
Do they make you play it louder for the BBC?
Yeah, I think they did.
Oh, okay.
I think they offered him more haggis.
Oh, right, that works.
So, I think the answer would be it is a very, very simple bit of design.
Very simple bit of design.
I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Okay, that's reason enough. Next question, what's the speaker setup and what consoles are controlling them? That's actually a really complex question because it's a huge speaker setup. That is like...
Get back in the hammock.
Time-axy type, phase... Yeah, that's all that weird audio shit going on right there. That is huge.
Brace yourself, Sheila.
So,
the console is the easy bit. So the console is a Digico ST7T with a T for theatre software running on it.
Really?
Okay. True. Which is a clever bit of software that allows us to, amongst other things, use lots of different aliases down a single channel, which is very useful when you're swapping microphones over from, let's say, a flute to a flugelhorn to a drum to, a passing camel or,
okay,
whatever Mexican drum needs miking up that day. The speaker setup is fairly complicated and will take a very long time to explain. Basically, due to sight lines, we're not allowed huge line arrays, and also because due to not having anywhere to hang things from, we can't really hang anything anywhere. So it's all how it's done is basically a single speaker sort of firing up the audience, which works because the seating is incredibly steep.
Right, okay.
And so actually the angle required to hit all those people's ears is actually very small. With a lot of fills as well.
There's a lot of science going on here.
There's a lot of science going on here. And there's also basically a sort of simpler surround sound system. There's speakers in the castle, there's speakers halfway down, there's speakers...
the retracting speakers in the castle that go up in hydraulic lifts and down at the end of the night, so they don't show during the day.
That's very true, yes. Yes, they're covered with cunning. And they're all... we could talk about this for a very, very long time. But the sound designer is a man called Seb Frost. He's a very clever man, and he uses a system called Timax to try and time the music being played by the musicians in a way that it will follow and track with the artists. Say you've got a bagpipe walking up and down, they obviously have a very loud acoustic element, and all the stuff that's, let's say, coming from other areas like a guitar or a drum kit or silent drum kit, that will also track with him using a software called Timax.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Does that more or less cover that one?
I could go on for about hours on that one,
yeah.
But I'll be a backup program.
Remember to shout a bit, because this is recording on the phone here, and it's just, you were getting really quiet then.
Project.
You were getting very subtle about, as you went into more and more detail, you get quieter and more sinister, actually. So, is it a very male-dominated line of work, and is it a good job for ladies to do? Now, you have quite a few ladies working with you in this contract.
We do. We have lots of ladies. And the second operator is a lady called Laura. She's very good. We have another lady downstairs called Christy. She's very good. She's, I suppose, in charge of the radio mic running, and she's very good indeed. I would say it's an excellent career to get into if you are a girl. There is no differentiation between boys and girls.
So with most areas of the entertainment
if you are a girl,
industry.
you are very welcome in the industry.
Alright, so, okay. So here's another, how many kilowatts question. How many kilowatts are you running there, and how do you stop peaks like basic explosions playing hell with all the other power users? I've seen the needles on Jennies at raves. They pretty much just follow the bass line.
The site has a lot of power, so we don't really, as in
oodles of power and digital amplifiers, stacks of digital amplifiers.
We're using a system called DMB that's incredibly efficient. So we don't tend to use it. We don't tend to need an awful crazy amount of power if we're using huge power amps, for example. Basic explosions playing hell, the subs obviously use more power than anything else, but the system, what was our system? No, the system runs off.
There's another question then. How do your microphones handle it when we've got explosives on the show? Because we often do have really huge explosions. Does that damage the microphones in any way?
Well, they don't really ever get close enough.
Okay.
Because explosions like that are happening sort of
What
fair
about
way
cone
away.
excursion? But it's not really
Well,
that force. I mean,
when,
some of them is.
when they were playing the sound effects when we were doing the setups. Do you remember when we were doing the setups and they were doing the rockets and the speakers at the castle started to crack a little bit?
Oh, right,
Basically,
okay.
that would be called, over excursion.
Oh, right, okay. Ooh.
But they were all right. They were all right. They're fine. They were just getting close to the edges.
Next question is, I came of age in the 70s attending the popular rock acts of the time. As a result, I have suffered hearing loss in my left ear, the one that was closer to the stage. How do the sound crews set the volume today? Loudest is best, or please tell me more thought goes into tuning a stadium or venue. I'm not getting why his left ear would have been closer to the stage here.
If he's doing monitors,
Oh, right, okay.
I guess sometimes you set the monitor desk up. I mean, not these days. You normally set a monitor desk looking straight on.
You guys, I've noticed, are quite precious about your hearing. You do actually wear proper hearing protection quite a lot of times when you're testing stuff and setting it up.
We do. Loudest is not best. But I mean, the world of sound is sort of changing a little bit at the moment. In terms of even the most traditional rock and roll companies will not just walk out and do loudest is best. That's just not how it works anymore. You're interested much more into definition and image and also health and safety requirements are a lot stricter these days. So I'm sorry about your hearing though. That's bad luck. But subtlety is creeping into the industry.
Yeah. Next question. How did you get into the job? Did you go to college and do sound engineering, or did you do what most of us have done, just stumble randomly into the job accidentally?
I didn't go to college because I'm so old. When I was looking for a college course, they didn't really exist apart from the BBC. So I started doing lots of theatre, but I was always really musical, and I'm come from an incredible musical background. So that was my way in, and then combine that with a lot of. I suppose I did go to college for 1 year, but that was brilliant. But that wasn't sound college; it was like a theatre college type thing. And then I just ran around in theatres for donkey's years, and then got good at sound.
Picked it all up.
Yeah, picked it up. Well, just then study because you never really stopped studying.
Yeah. Next question. Well, we've already actually mentioned the board console you use for mixing. So everything is so computerised. Have you ever had a cascading failure? And if so, what happens? Does the show go on without lighting cues? Well, the lighting doesn't run through your desk. Or sound, etc. Oh, that's a general question, isn't it? Each of us has contingency plans, I'm guessing. Could you still manually take over and run a show without the computers, or is that an art lost on the older crew?
Yes, I mean you can. Basically, I mean it's a manual override is absolutely fine. I mean we can run, although we use an SD7T, which is a very organised and structured queue type desk, and we're using QLab for quite a lot of the queuing and for how to organise and run the SD7. Even though we do send timecode to lighting and to pyrotechnics, if that doesn't work, there's nothing stopping us just pressing go and just taking it over. Same as a lighting board,
Different for us to a degree. If the computerised lighting desk goes down, we do have a backup plan for illumination. But we'll go into that probably in the lighting thing. But it's 2 years at the very worst we can bring up an overall wash of light over the esplanade. I suppose ultimately your backup there is that the bands are real, they're playing real instruments, and they're quite loud on their own. Mm-hmm. So even if everything went absolutely horrifically pear-shaped, the show would still go on.
The show there would still be a show, but it wouldn't
be as perhaps as immersive.
Exactly.
In the sense it would just be a live presentation.
It would just be sort of live people walking up and down. Which is fine, but it's a long way away from where we've got to with the tattoo in terms of sound and the whole project that the producers are trying to push on year after year.
Next question: how did you get to work as crew at the tattoo?
I just woke up in jail one day.
Yeah, that's reasonable enough.
How did I get to work? I've been working in sound, I don't know, for 20 odd years, maybe 20 and a bit, and I was called 4 years ago by the operator who I was working with at the time, who was looking for a sidekick to come and share the mixing and make it work, and blah 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 blah. And it was just who I happened to know.
Just chance as that. It always just falls into place that way. Next question: how do you make bagpipes?
Very carefully.
Yeah, that must be horrific.
How do you make bagpipes? You need
Do you ram it right down the end of the chanter?
with one of these. In fact,
Yeah, just
with
get
this.
with that, just stuff it in.
Yeah, and takes ages to get out. Takes ages to get out. How do you make bagpipes? What we basically do, because bagpipes is such a curious beast, and you get a lot of sound out of a lot of different areas with the drones and the chanter and all the rest of it. It is a bit of a fudge because
optimal position with lots of
exactly, and we're not in a studio, so we haven't got we're not using multiple microphones. We are tending to use one mic per.
Evening, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry. And so we would tend to use one signal
What are you giggling about?
We're filming, you great moose. It's your turn in a minute.
Yes, you can get your turn
Oh,
later on.
bollocks to that.
We're
Yeah,
filming. This is
How much do I get paid for this live?
nothing. I get all the money.
Absolutely.
But I convert some bit to alcohol, so you're all right.
Anyway, we use a single omnidirectional microphone on that sort of instrument. We tend to put it in a place that gets a bit of everything, but tends to get more tune than droning, for example. Quite often, the bagpipes that are playing are in a group of other bagpipes, so that we will also get some other bagpipe mischief from the other instruments who are also there.
Oh, okay. Next question: what was the hardest to find problem with the sound systems?
Well, the hardest to find problem was a quirky one, which was to do with we use a vocoder on the show.
That's this particular show using the vocoder on one part of it, the
Blue
Sky.
Blue Sky.
It's very good. Watch out for the video on that YouTube. It's an extremely good part of the show.
It's very nice. Which did take a little while to set up, but Tom did a very, very good job of that. One of the problems one of the reasons it's so long is that although we tend to run this show at 48k, we had a random piece of software that kept trying to convince Logic that we were running at 44.1. So for an annoying length of time, every time we were checking the vocoder, it would just keep on coming up as running on the wrong word clock.
Okay.
Would give us a horrible digital susurration.
It was interesting.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's also probably on YouTube because YouTube, we don't stop people recording it. Anybody in the audience can record video footage and put it up on YouTube. It's just the show is very open that way. We encourage people to take pictures and video and share it because nothing beats actually being at the tattoo if you want the proper tattoo experience. So everything does go on. So all our mistakes and accidents go on as well, unfortunately. That's just what happens. Which department is the most important to the show and why?
The most important department is quite obviously the music department.
I don't think so, actually.
Because
I think the lighting department's more important.
No, not the lighting, not the sound, not anything else. The music department is the most important. If you haven't got the music department...
Well, if we turned off all the lights, there'd be nothing, I'm sorry. Also,
but you still hear them.
Also, we do supply you with power.
Yes, it's just a threat.
It's not a threat, it's just gentle guidance into which department's more important here.
I still think it's music.
All right, okay, then we'll just let you off with that at the moment. How do you stop radio mic receivers from accidentally picking up other transmissions?
Well, basically in the UK, you pay. You pay money to own those frequencies for that amount of time, and bearing in mind that we are right in the middle of Edinburgh. We're running 68 channels of radio mic right in the middle of Edinburgh outside, which has been quite fun. But we are also atop a massive lump of granite, and the esplanade is a huge lump of metal, and all the radio mics are used inside that huge lump of metal. Okay. So we do
a Faraday cage, effectively, in a way.
Ish. There are certain areas that that we struggle to get radio mics into.
Have problems with other people using rogue transmitter equipment that is not compliant with the regulations, and it actually causes interference. Do you ever have channel?
You do get interference, but not that much, and usually, basically, if we turn down our scotches a little bit and just turn our power up to massive power, then we can
swamp everything.
We can swamp things. Yeah, it's fine. And also, our aerials are inside the metal.
Oh, right.
Whereas everyone else's aerials are, would have to fight with it. Well, they've got a long way to come, and then they've got to get through the metal. So our stuff will tend to override it.
And the final question: fruit salads or blackjacks?
Blackjacks.
Blackjacks win all the way. Yep, I'd agree with that. And that concludes the audio segment of this particular video.
Thank you very much.